Welcome back to the Sibling Group Chat. I'm Owen.
And I'm Cassidy.
And today we are back at it with the Odyssey Review, Episode 30, The Day Independence Came.
Yes, this classic is episode 33 of Adventures in Odyssey, and it originally aired on July 2nd, 1988. It is part of Album 2, which is now known as The Wildest... Did I say 22?
Huh?
Did I say 22?
I don't know, you might have. That's not what I was laughing at.
What were you laughing at?
That it aired on July 2nd.
Oh. Yeah, that is funny. That's probably on purpose. Knowing that Phil Lawler wrote it, I'm sure it was on purpose.
But it's almost like a historical,
Yeah, it aired on the day it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, it's part of Album 2, which is now known as The Wildest Summer Ever. And in this episode, Erwin Springer, a middle schooler interested in history, takes a wild journey back to the American Revolution, where he meets the men who shaped the United States. Our themes are American history, freedom, and our Christian heritage.
Wild journey, aka wild concussion.
Yes. We'll get to that.
We don't know if it was a concussion, but anyway. So we get, I think Chris... Again, I was a bit preoccupied as I started listening to this episode, but I believe all Chris intros is that Erwin Springer likes American history, specifically the Revolutionary War, and he's at the counter doing some history trivia with Whit Tom Riley.
Yeah, I think that's all she said.
Yeah. Have we heard from Tom in a while? I feel like he hasn't been around in a while.
No, it's been a minute for Tom. Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm trying to think.
Coach Riley there.
It was probably one of the Harley episodes that he was last in.
And I mean, it's not like he's in this episode for very long, but, good to have him around.
Yeah, honestly, he was probably just in the episode because they needed him to do some of the history voices. And so, if you're here, it might as well be Tom, too.
But I just want to say, as someone who loves American history as well, and Revolutionary War is my favorite period in American history, this trivia question actually bothers me. Because it's so vague. Mr. Whitaker's question is, who commanded the British troops during the Revolutionary War? And the answer is, which is not wrong, but it's not right. He was not the only one.
Yeah.
He was the commander at Yorktown of that specific group of soldiers. But there was a lot of other people who were involved in the overall commanding of the British troops. Mainly, I think you'd think of... Clinton? I think that was his name, right?
I believe so.
I'm trying to remember his full name. But, yeah, so, I don't know. Just the vagueness of that question bothered me. Because, yes, Cornwallis was in command at Yorktown, but he was not in command for the entire war or for the entire army in the Americas. But anyway, that's me getting on a history tangent.
Yeah. Probably not the first history tangent we'll get on today.
Probably not. So after that, Mr. Riley asks him how he knows so much about American history, and Erwin says he loves history, all the stuff about freedom, honor, patriotism.
God bless him.
But then Whit tells him he was meaning to tell him that he got a new book. Did he say about the Revolution or just about Benjamin Franklin?
I don't actually remember now.
I think it's about
might have been about Ben Franklin. And I have some things I need to say about this book. Other than to set up the aftermath of the episode. Why did he put the book in the Bible room, not the library, which has already been mentioned? And why did he put the book in a hard-to-reach place?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was the library.
No, he says he put it on a shelf in the Bible room.
Yeah, interesting. But, actually, the thing that I think is, I guess, I don't know. Let me just keep moving. I think I just had a thought, and I can't remember what the thought was.
Before you move on, we just need to say, from a voice acting perspective, that Erwin is voiced by the voice of Jack, Donald Long.
Who has already voiced Jack once, correct? Or
yes,
not?
But only once. So, if you don't know Jack is recurring, it's not unusual yet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he goes to get the book. It's on a high shelf. So he gets a chair because he couldn't find, there's apparently usually a step stool somewhere.
And he knows he's not supposed to stand on
Right.
chairs.
But he does it anyway. Goes up there, grabs the step stool, um, gets the book. Then he either loses his balance or the chair isn't completely stable and the chair slips out from under him. And he either hits his head on the way down or I think at the end of the story, Mr. Whitaker said the book hits his head. I feel like it makes more sense if he just hit his head on the floor.
Yeah.
But anyway, regardless, he hits his head. And then
it's instantly transported. Yes. Very ominous music.
I was thinking, I didn't even notice that there's like, it's ominous music. You're like, did he, like, I don't know. I feel like it's oddly timed music.
Yeah. I just put in my notes, head injuries equals the precursor to the imagination station.
Yeah. That's what I wrote down. History dream after a hit head.
Yeah. And he also says, at the end, Mr. Whitaker tells him that he's only unconscious for a couple seconds. So he has like a 20-minute long, to us 20 minutes, to him probably longer, in seconds.
I mean, you've probably had dreams that felt longer.
I know dreams feel like you dream them as longer time feels like it's passed, but you know.
Yeah. So yeah, he wakes up from his dream
In the woods.
Doesn't
wake up from his dream. He wakes up in his dream.
Yeah, he wakes up in his dream, I guess. And I think the first thing does a man, we don't know who it is yet, it turns out to be Nathan Hale. Does he talk first, or does he hear the redcoats first?
I don't remember who talks first, but before anyone else talks, Erwin thinks that maybe he's in the woods on the way to Trickle Lake, and I think this is the first mention of Trickle Lake.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that he falls, and his immediate thought was like, I must have teleported to Trickle Lake.
Well, it makes more sense than I must be in Pennsylvania or something.
Well, I know, but like,
yeah,
that him in his dream doesn't think he's in a dream quite yet.
Well, brain injury.
The place he's been before, I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, he's caught in between Nathan Hale and a few British soldiers. Mm-hmm. So he starts running. Well, actually, Nathan Hale, who he still hasn't introduced himself, but tells him to come with him if he wants to stay alive, basically. And he's like, not supposed to go with strangers.
Yeah. But then the British start shooting at him, so he's like, on second thought, maybe I will.
Shooting strangers. I'll take a stranger.
Yeah.
So he runs with Nathan Hale away from the British. They go deeper into the forest and then hide. They don't keep going. They just hide somewhere. The British start looking for them, and then Erwin points out a hornet's nest near British. And so Nathan Hale throws a rock at it, knocks it down.
Says, hey, lobsterbacks, how about some company?
Then that chases the British away, but then the Wasp start chasing Nathan Hale and Erwin, so they have to run away. They jump into a lake. Erwin can't swim, however, but there's no time like the present to learn.
It's true. Yep.
So they escape. Then finally Nathan says, well, we've had quite the adventure, and I don't even know your name. So Erwin introduces himself. He's from the township of Odyssey.
He just says Erwin Trigger of Odyssey.
Nathan Hale says township of Odyssey or whatever. And then he introduces himself as Nathan Hale, to where we get our first Nathan Hale. The Nathan Hale. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, you've heard of me? Hasn't everybody? or he says, who hasn't heard of you? Everybody out of six. Yeah.
So yeah, he goes with Nathan Hale back to the Continental Army's camp, I believe. Mm-hmm. To get another wow in there,
Yeah. He starts questioning if he's dreaming, but he decides if he is dreaming, he doesn't want to wake up, so he's not going to pinch himself. Because, if he was dreaming, perhaps, the fall in the water might have woken him up.
Yeah, the water definitely wouldn't have woken him up. No. I'm curious, this is just a random thought. Where did pinching yourself to get out of a dream ever come from? Because I don't think I've ever had a dream and thought. I mean, obviously, I don't know how thinking works. Like, if I pinch myself, I might wake up.
Well, I have been conscious in a dream, like not the whole time, but you get to a point where like you know
That's
you're
cool.
dreaming and you want to stop and you bring yourself out of it. Like you can't always do that, but there have been times where like, so
I guess.
if the
I
pain
think
can bring you out of
it's
it,
a stereotypical way to get out of your dream, I guess.
yeah. But people only think that when they're not dreaming. Like you don't ever hear of somebody who uses that when they're actually dreaming and they're like, "Oh man, I got out of the dream because I pinched myself."
Yeah. So they head to the camp. They get there, and Irwin is beyond impressed with the Continental camp. It's everything he'd ever dreamed of. I believe he even says that.
Yeah, which is probably not great. Yeah, from what we know of the Continental Army, it's probably pretty unimpressive, I would
Yeah.
assume.
Well, I mean, the way Nathan Hale talks about it, he seems kind of confused a little bit. He's like,
Like,
"Oh,
why is Irwin impressed?
yeah." But then Nathan is to report to headquarters. So he goes with Nathan because Nathan said there's someone he wants him to meet. But after Nathan reports, he brings him in to meet somebody. Turns out it's General Washington.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Is that some sort of Indian greeting?
I don't know.
I don't know.
A lot, sir.
Yeah.
Well, in an effort to maintain good relations with the good people of Odyssey, oh, wow to you, Master Springer.
Yes. Classic.
Yeah. So after he gives his little report, talks to Washington a little bit, it's apparently the time
Washington
of
thanks
day.
him for saving Nathan.
Yeah. Actually, it says he's in his debt, to which Irwin's where he's like, oh, no, I didn't do anything.
Yeah. I just pointed out where the wasps were.
Yeah. Then it's the time of the day where Washington goes to pray, apparently, and so he invites Nathan Hale and Irwin Springer to go with him. And then Washington even says, unless of course you don't pray. And Irwin Springer says, "Oh no, sir, I do every day."
I'm a Christian. A patriot and a Christian. There's no finer combination.
Yeah. And I just want to point out, I mean, we get to this prayer. There's that one. I don't know if the bonus goes with this episode or if it's with a later episode, but they talk about this episode about how this
That's
prayer
about the guide as well.
was a direct quote
Mm-hmm.
from Washington. But I do think throughout this episode, there's maybe a little bit, and I get it. It's Adventure Odyssey is a Christian radio drama, so they're going to focus on that. I do think some of the founding fathers, and even like just in history, sometimes depending on the point of view you research history from, sometimes some of the founding fathers are portrayed as more religious or more Christian or better Christians, I think, than they really were.
Yeah. I had the same thought, especially when I get to the Continental Congress. They bring up God a lot. And I'm not saying they never brought up God, and I don't want people to come at us. We're not here to debate how Christian our founding fathers were. We know that could get really deep, and we're not here to do that today. And again, it's a Christian show, so obviously they're going to do it, but it felt slightly overdone to me, even if I agree that they were that religious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. I think they were religious, regardless of how some of their, like, if their doctrine was wrong or whatever. A lot of them were very religious, even if they weren't doctrinally sound.
Correct. But would they have been bringing up God quite that much in a 5-minute conversation? Probably not.
Yeah. For sure in the Congress. I do think it's probably fairly accurate that Washington prayed a lot.
Washington feels fairly accurate. It's later when we get to the Congress that it felt a bit overdone to me.
Yeah. So after the prayer, there's a conversation between Washington and Springer kind of about how much he believes God is involved in the fate of countries, I guess.
Yeah.
Which Irwin has apparently never thought about before.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how much deep thinking Irwin can do in a dream.
Yeah. In an unconscious state, which means his mind's not working.
But Irwin decides that he does believe that God can play a part in that, to which Washington says, then you are the right man for the job.
Imagine if Washington was like, on second thought, I don't think you can do this. Thank you for your time. We're done. See you later, and
Wake up.
yeah, Erwin just has to wait around doing nothing for him to become conscious again.
Yeah. You ever think about it? Like, it's a 20-minute adventure for us. How long was it for him? Because he rides from New York to Philadelphia in his dream.
It's probably days, if not just a
Well,
whole day.
I'm curious how long that is.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
look it up. Hold on.
Imagine, like, while you're looking that up, because in a few minutes from now, I was going to bring up Liberty's Kids, so I might as well do it now. If this Adventures in Odyssey episode was a Liberty's Kids episode, it would, like, Washington would tell Erwin he's going to Washington, and so then it would go out into frame, you know how it does, and then drops into another frame in another spot. It would do that. It would, like, go from Erwin to Benjamin Franklin with the music.
New York City to Philadelphia is 94 miles.
Is that on a current highway though?
Yeah.
So it might
But
not have
then
been.
it would have been roughly the same, I feel like.
Probably. So how long does it take to ride a horse 94 miles?
I don't know. I mean, a car, it's an hour and a half. I mean, there's probably a lot of traffic there, but a long time.
Yeah, and this is his first time ever riding too, but there's no time like the present to learn.
Uh-huh. My computer's not giving me any suggestions on how long it would take by horse.
Imagine if Google Maps had that feature. You know how it'll tell you by car, by bus, by walking, by bike, by horse?
What if I'm traveling like an Amish person, but I'm not Amish, so I need Google Maps? Can you give me an approximate time, please?
Yeah, Google Maps needs to add a by horse feature.
Yeah. I mean, it gives you by bike and by walking.
Yeah. So it's probably, if you average those two, that's probably by horse.
Depends how fast of a biker you are.
Yeah, it depends how fast of a horse you have.
It's true. Anyway, moving on from our time calculations. Erwin rides to take the message to New York, to the Second Continental Congress. I just want to say, before he leaves, Nathan Hale says he won't be going with him. He's going back to New York, to which Erwin is worried because obviously he knows
Erwin
that
knows
Nathan
what's gonna happen. Yeah.
dies. But I think it's interesting, and they do it later with a couple other people too. They throw in Nathan Hale's famous "I only regret that I have but one life to lose for my country," which as you learned in history, he said after he was caught. I believe that's fairly accurate, but maybe not.
I don't. You would know better than
I
I
just
would.
think that they tried to squish every famous historical quote they could into this episode.
It's surprising Patrick Henry didn't show up randomly.
Right? Yeah. He didn't ride by to say, "Give me liberty or give me death."
Erwin takes a wrong turn, ends up in Virginia.
But anyway, yes. So he heads to the Second Continental Congress, gets there, finds Ben Franklin, who's not in the debate room. He's just hanging out in the foyer, which
feels very on brand for what we know of Ben Franklin, or at least how he's portrayed.
Ben Franklin is thought about or portrayed. It's very accurate, or very typical, I guess. Not accurate, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And Ben Franklin apparently looks and sounds a lot like Mr. Whitaker. He sounds like him because he's voiced by Hal Smith, but yeah. Poor fellow.
Yes.
I should just have to say, I don't know about you, but in my head, Ben Franklin will always be Walter Cronkite, not Hal Smith.
From Liberty Kids.
From Liberty's Kids. It's a great show. If you haven't watched it, what are you doing? I would watch that now. I need to go home and get our parents' DVDs and just watch Liberty's Kids.
Right,
yeah. Yeah. Love that show.
Yes, good, great show. We would sing the intro for you, but
we'd get copyrighted. That's the only reason we're not going to.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He gets there. He hears that they're debating. He talks to Franklin a little bit, tells him he has a message. Franklin says, "Well, you better go in there and read it then." He says, "Oh, I don't want to interrupt." And
that's merely Adams and Dickinson. They're always talking.
Or arguing. Which now that makes me think of 1776 with John.
Yeah. Sit down, John. Yeah. It's not the first time I think of 1776 during this. Also, if you've never watched the musical 1776, go watch it if you want to. I'm not going to say you have to because it's an
experience.
Yeah, but If you want a musical about Revolutionary era America and you don't want to watch Hamilton, then watch 1776. Why would
I've
you want
never
to watch
actually
Hamilton
seen
when you can watch
Hamilton, but
1776?
I've never seen Hamilton, but I feel like 1776 is a little bit further to the accurate side.
Oh, 100%. I also have not seen Hamilton, but yes.
It's more accurate.
Yes.
Also, not quite about the same exact time period. Well, I mean, same time period, but not the same events.
No.
Um,
Anyway, Adams and Dickinson, they're always talking.
yes. Franklin gets Irwin in there, interrupts the argument to say that Master Springer has word from Washington.
I just like John Hancock's like, Mr. Franklin, we're in debate. His voice, Hancock sounds so done.
Yeah. I mean, he probably was. Can you imagine being in charge of the Continental Congress?
Yeah, I'd be done too.
Especially when you think about it, because he was like the second option for being the general. So Washington got to leave and he had to stay and be in charge.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Washington's job was easy, but he wasn't dealing with a bunch of politicians arguing all the time.
True, yeah. Speaking of the politicians arguing, do you think, I couldn't quite tell, I think Dickinson was voiced by Earl Bowen, who voices the Blaggards.
Too. It wasn't quite.
Obviously, he was doing his voice differently.
I'm pretty sure it was him, but it was definitely voiced differently.
Yeah, which obviously this is long before Blackguard comes, but it makes him feel like Dickinson is the villain here, which
he's
not per se, but he's not the villain.
Yeah, but also when you research, Dickinson had fairly good reasoning for why he didn't want to support independence. I'm not saying I obviously we're American. We support our independence. Not like we could change it. We have had it for 249 years now. But if you research, like, Dickinson, while he didn't side with them, had good reasoning for it.
You just spoiled the episode. Dickinson leaves?
I didn't say he left.
I guess he didn't side with them, but I suppose.
But anyway, Irwin reads most of the letter before he is interrupted by Adams and Dickinson. Surprise, surprise. It might have been Dickinson first. I don't know.
I don't remember which one.
Let's see. I think it's after he's read part of the letter. Maybe Adams says something. Or no, Dickinson interrupts, asks what they think about their army and whatever now, their chances of winning the war. And then Adams talks about they've forgotten what they were fighting for in the first place. No taxation without representation, which really made me think of Liberty Gives. Because, like, no taxation without representation. Do you know what that means? No. I heard the others
saying it. Yep. It's great.
Yes. Just out of curiosity, if anybody watched that show, did you ever realize that Henri is just spelled like Henry? It's just not pronounced the same way? Because we didn't realize that until we got the physical copy and saw the name spelled out on the back.
Yeah. Yep. But if you have better knowledge of French than we did at the time, then maybe you knew. You could have just been us.
Yeah. But so they argue for a while, and then Irwin interrupts, and they're like, dude, you're a messenger. Be quiet. He's like, I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't talk, but I didn't finish.
Yeah.
So let me finish. He finishes reading. The last part of the letter is all about, like, asking for God's guidance in their decision. To which the rest of the conversation, like you said before, is mostly centered around how much God interferes with the affairs of countries, specifically in, like, war between countries, like which side is the best cause and whatever.
Yeah, and obviously God is in control of everything.
Yes.
This conversation is still very stilted and overdone to me.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Obviously, Dickinson keeps arguing that it's not the right. Independence should not be the choice. Adams keeps arguing that it should. He says, "Independence now, independence forever."
Yes.
Huzzah!
He probably didn't say huzzah.
Probably not. He probably tapped his cane or hit his table or something.
Yeah. And
Funny
everyone
story.
else probably went, sit down, Ron.
We watched it like a reenactment of part of this, and I think it was government class when I was in high school. Me and the rest of my guys in that government class started like tapping our table and getting applause during random classes. It was great. Where was that? Dickinson says his last piece after it seems like everybody is pretty much in favor of independence. He talks about how he can't, in good faith, support independence, in large part because he doesn't feel like they have a chance of winning a war, and he doesn't want to send a bunch of people to their deaths, essentially, in war for a battle or for a cause that he doesn't think they can win, whether he agrees with the principles of the cause or not.
Yep.
And then he does leave before they vote. I don't remember if they specifically showed that or not.
Yeah, because he tells them, he said, it's clear I can't convince you to change your mind, and I can't in good conscience stand with you, so I'm just going to leave.
Yep. So yes, Dickinson leaves, and then the vote takes place as random voices read parts of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
I did think it was interesting. I was listening very closely to the vote in the background, more so than the readings of the Declaration of Independence, because I wanted to know if they threw in New York.
Yep.
Which
honestly, you could not be paying attention to all the other states and hear New York, because it's the last one, and the Declaration has faded out by then.
Yeah. I didn't know it was the last one, so that's why I was listening.
No, I was listening for it too.
Because New York did actually abstain because they didn't have, I believe it's because they didn't have their full delegation with them and they were given instructions not to vote or something. I don't remember exactly. Basically, their instructions, or they didn't have instructions to vote for it, so they wouldn't vote for or against it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
in this, they say, New York respectfully abstains.
New York abstains courteously.
Yeah. I like the 1776 delivery a bit better than it is here.
Yeah, and here it just says, New York abstains respectfully.
No, it respectfully abstains.
Whatever. Then Irwin gets to go riding again to declare independence.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
he falls off his horse.
It's like I'm falling again.
Down. Keep going down. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, wrong episode.
And I just want to say, to point, so when he wakes up, it's Whit and Tom waking him up. Mm-hmm. And when Whit explains what happens, he says, the book hit you, and then you hit the ground or whatever, because the chair came out from under it. I just want to say, the way it is portrayed, like sound-wise, makes it seem like that when he falls from the horse in his dream is when he finishes falling to the ground. That's what the sound is.
One fall.
So that it would be like his dream starts when he gets hit in the head with the book.
And then when he hits the ground,
he hits the ground from the horse. That's his. I don't know if that's.
It could be. I do want to point out though, like you mentioned the sound. I don't remember what it said, but in the Odyssey guide, they do talk about this was one of their first big sound episodes where like they were having like mixing sounds more than they had been before. I don't know all the technical lingo and I don't want to mess it up, but this is a very good, from sound production, a very good episode, and you can hear a lot of detail in the background. It's really good.
Yeah.
The music is fun too. Very patriotic, you know.
Outside of the ominous music when he falls at the beginning, it's really good. I mean, it's not like it's a bad sound. It's just an odd voice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that about does it. I mean,
there's the funny little bit where he thought Mr. Whittaker was Ben Franklin.
His whole story and whatever, and he's asked Mr. Whittaker, or tells Mr. Whittaker that he looks exactly like Ben Franklin. And Mr. Whittaker says,
which, you have to wonder, in the creators of Odyssey's minds, did Mr. Whittaker not have his mustache at this point? Because we would never think Mr. Whittaker looked like Ben Franklin.
Yeah, that's true. Because Ben Franklin is not portrayed as having had a mustache.
Exactly. And is Mr. Whittaker bald with long hair? Because Ben Franklin is.
I mean, if you think about him as how he looks in the Andy Griffith Show, a little bit.
So if Mr. Whitaker looks like Hal Smith.
I mean,
Can you imagine if Mr. Whitaker looked like Otis Campbell?
well, no, not like quite like Otis, but like you get like the image of like
Yeah,
Hal Smith has a little bit of how you just described. What does Mr. Whitaker look like? A little bit.
a little bit. I could sooner make Hal Smith look like Ben Franklin than I could make Mr. Whitaker look like Ben Franklin.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So who knows? I feel like if they had just said he sounds just like you instead of looks
Right.
just like you, it would have made more sense. Especially as an audience, we're only hearing it. So
Right. But Irwin thinks that Ben Franklin is Mr. Whitaker before Ben Franklin speaks, so you couldn't have played it like that later in the episode.
true. Yeah. So somehow they're looking alike, and we're probably overthinking it, but it's just kind of funny.
Because that's what we do.
But yes, that's the whole point of this podcast.
Because that's what podcasters do. You get what I'm doing there.
I get what you're doing, but I can't remember what it's from.
Because Thor, he says, because that's what heroes do.
Heroes do. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think that about Wit saying "poor fellow" is the last line of the episode, and then Chris's outro actually really bothered me because she talks about not all of it. The beginning is she talks about like how much the religiousness played into the decisions they made, which is in part true, but again, they do heighten it in the episode a little bit. I feel like.
Yes, but don't come at us
She
for
talks
this.
about George Washington specifically, and one specific story, because he prayed a lot, and then there's one specific story he was protected because he had multiple horses shot out from under him, multiple bullet holes in his jacket. That was in the French and Indian War.
He was praying then too.
I get that, but like a whole episode about the Revolutionary War and American history, and then we're going to refer to a story about Washington in the outro from the French and Indian War.
I suppose, yeah.
It just bothered me, but
yeah. So for this week's episode, normally it's me answering your comments, but this week Owen will be answering your comments, and you guys can talk about U.S. history as much as you want. And if you need to talk longer than a comment, you can email us at thesiblinggroupchat@gmail.com.
Yeah. And if you have enough questions, then I'll just hop on here by myself and start talking about history.
Yeah, we'll start a history segment. Maybe we will review Liberty Kids next, but that's 100% accurate.
We have so many things that we feel like reviewing, and we've gotten 33 episodes into it.
We would have to be doing daily episodes to review all the material that we think would be fun to review.
Someday.
So if we have enough listeners that this can be our full-time job, then we'll just review everything.
We will get through stuff. We'll crank it out.
Yep. Yeah, at the rate we're going now, we're not even going to be done with Odyssey for, 50 years. I don't know.
You're saying we're doing an episode a week right now. There's 1,000. We get through about 50 in a year, which means it's going to take us over 20 years.
But you get 24 more a year right now. Who knows if that'll change with the club exclusive. So
we're sitting right now between 20 to 30 years, I think.
To catch up to right now.
Yeah.
So,
We will hopefully speed it up when our schedules allow, but right now we're a little bit too busy for that.
Yeah. Schedules, budget. Yeah.
What do you mean budget? Our budget has been $0 the whole time.
Exactly. If we had enough...
If you count you buying us mics, then we're actually in debt to our show. Yeah, we're in debt to our show.
Yep.
But it's been fun, and we don't actually care about money.
No, we don't care about money. If it ever got to the point where it was making us money, that would be great, but we're not trying to get it there.
Yeah, we're just having fun. This whole thing just started because we were like, hey, we should do this. You want to do this? Yeah, sure. Should we do it? Yeah, let's do it. Yep. So we did it, and we're having a good time, and we hope you've enjoyed listening to us.
Yep, and we're content for it to stay that way. But if it ever made us money, we wouldn't complain about that either.
But anyway, I think that about does it for this week's. What is next week's episode?
Next week is episode 34, Stormy Weather.
we're getting some good stuff here.
Yep, we're getting deeper into Connie's story next week.
You see, we're getting close to Connie's uh, main stories.
Yep, we're getting deeper into
We're,
Connie.
we're getting closer into like. I mean, we've been in good episodes for a while. We're starting to get more into storylines a little bit too.
Yep.
Here coming up, so we're having a good time. We're having some fun episodes. We thank you for watching. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Civil Group Chat. Subscribe wherever you get the podcast, and we will see you next time.
Bye.